Hello and welcome to the second part of the EMBER campaign guide. Of course, in this video we'll be covering 64 to stage 70. As of recording, currently it is March 19th, so there's a lot of SEs to still come out, of course, and there are some cards that I also do not have, including for Down Arrows anyway, Wade Barrett, which is a limited edition which you can get from the Then, Now and Forever and Together event if you get lucky enough, of course. In this guide, I will not be using Penta. I know I already have him, but I'm really not going to. I'm never going to use him because that would just make zero sense to be in a campaign guide. Because you will not have him. You are probably watching this video because you have not completed campaign and you want to complete campaign, of course, for that. Of course, there is a stage that I think is a bit of an annoying stage now, which is stage 70 in this instance, but we can go over that, and we will be going over that later in the guide. So, firstly, let's have a look at stage 64. So, we actually have some fairly straightforward matches. Actually, to start it off, we've got a 944,000 and a 978,000, which are the two matches that we are going to be facing. Meaning that I'm just going to support the charisma side of things. However, though, we do have CM Punk. So, I need to take equipment off everybody. I've got to do that. Right, give me a minute. Then we will actually properly get through it. There we go. Alright, let's start us off again with stage 64. So, of course, we have CM Punk with his some charisma equipment. That makes that match very straightforward. And then we have a 978,000 just there, which we are going to be using some EMBER equipment. And yep, Jade will very easily win that. And then, of course, we have a super move match at the end. Of course, we're just going to put some equipment on Batista just to make that case a bit stronger. Of course, it is a 2.5 million match, so please do bear that in mind when completing this level. Of course, as your super move, you will need a minimum of rough 750k. Well, 675k roughly, approx, and you will be good. Well, no, you'd be more than good if it's 675, because that would be 1.3, just over 1.35 mil. Of course, got Carmelo Hayes in this one. Using our charisma manager. Not like we need it. So, firstly, in the charisma match, we're going to be using CM Punk, which, if you complete the quest and you claim the free gift, that is a free pro for you. Jade Cargill's next. It's a base card, but she'll get a win against Becky Lynch. Lastly, for your super move match, I just use Batista and Bronson Reed. You could use anyone, really, that you want to. I would not challenge that match. I'll just get a super move, clear it, and you go on with your next level. Quite straightforward, that one, I'd imagine. 65 now, all charisma now. This is where Miss Elizabeth will come in quite handy. Alternatively, you've got cards such as Stone Cold Steve Austin's SE. I do not have it yet, although I am still working on getting it, but I'm going to show you without it regardless. So, of course, we do have a lot of charisma that we need to hit. Now, I could use AJ Lee, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use someone different. In cases so we may actually need to use AJ Lee in this instance. I hope that we do not need to. Well, I know for one match we definitely don't need her. We don't need to worry about support. Of course, alternatively, if we do need to worry about support, we will cover that. Okay, yeah. Alright, so 1.25 there on Punk. This match actually covers less than what we need, so of course feel free to super move this. Even with AJ, it still won't be enough. then I would use your support in this one, just in case, as it is a little bit more. You could, realistically though, you can alternative, because I only have a Royal Rumble Marie, so a Ember one will do that match perfectly fine. Ember might just go to around 115k around that mark, but yeah, very straightforward match there. Next up is stage 66. Now, of course, with the release of CM Punk, that is stage 67. This is stage 66. Oh god, just that's it, pressed on the wrong map. Okay, so we have a male solo speed, a female power match, and then a tag team match in male power with a table involved. So of course we're going to be using Jade Cargo, and we're going to be using a power manager as well. So we do actually have an Ember Zelina, which we are going to show here, and then with Punk, we're just going to use speed equipment on him, make our life easier. There's a mill, and then that other match I am going to super move, just going to get the Penta, just so he isn't blocking a potential option. Eric's actually a good option if you want to do it with a super move, because he's built in power. So of course Bronson there, and that'd be 1.4 mils. Saying that though, you actually need a 1 million match anyway. So of course CM Punk there with a easy win against Ilya Zhaganov. Then next is that 1.09. Now in this case, we are going to be using our microphone for an easy win there. And then we would super move the second female match. It's definitely a match I wouldn't want to challenge personally. Just do the first two as they are relatively straightforward. Equally, you can also use a support as like what I did here in this. In this, you could use the microphone, you could use table, you could use whatever, as long as you hit at 1.1 mil. Stage 67, which I actually kind of hinted at earlier, but it isn't the most difficult stage by the looks of it. In this case, we will actually be using AJ Lee, because they didn't really release any down arrows in terms of speed, which is funny. So, well, that I can think of. Oh no, Soruka's just came out, and JC Jane as well. Of course, Showdown JC, which I also do not have. So, of course, they are better options than the options I'm going to be showing you. Of course, feel free to either use the people I use, different people, you know, whoever. Just getting rid of the equipment on people real quick. Just gonna see what one of the matches is. It's a toughness match. CM Punk's got that toughness match covered. Was it 932k? Yep, sure is. And then, of course, we're going to be using Miss Elizabeth. Now, we could actually maybe try it with Jade. For entertainment value, let's try it with Jade. Should be alright. With just Jade. Shouldn't need AJ for this. Shouldn't. Famous last words. Plus support. So a ladder. So we only have a rumble one. May not even need the support actually, because Miss Elizabeth did go over a mil. Oh yeah, it's 2 mil, yeah, and the match is under 2 mil. So yeah, definitely done that match without any issues, which is perfect. Then of course CM Punk in that toughness match against Bronson Reed. And then that is going to be your super move right there. It's 1.1 million as well, so the people that I've used with their current stats are perfectly fine. And that is how you do stage 67. Stage 68 now requires a lot of, well, I say a lot of hassle, it really doesn't. Actually, we can use Jade and Elizabeth again, we can use Punk as well, which is always good. Always good to know that we can use CM Punk for a charisma match, in which, in this instance, we actually are going to. Of course, because he A blocks in charisma and B is best, and it also is 1.1 million in charisma, which is more than enough than what we actually are required to get. So if we use Steve Austin, of course, we are using the LE one. Of course, you can use the alternative one, the SE that is currently in Tag Team Takedown. So feel free to get your hands on that. Very easy to get pro of. Just doing 10 TTTs. Of course, assume you don't get any other packs or anything extra. You will get that very easily. We shouldn't actually need a super move for this match either. I'd imagine we don't. Be quite funny if we do, but we shouldn't need to. Oh no, yeah, we'll need a support, but that's about it really, because it's just well, it's just under 2.1 mil, which meaning that Elizabeth and Jade just need to get over a mil basically, in order to have that match perfectly fine. But of course we are going to be facing off, because we are using Larry here. Maxine, there is an F1 Maxine, so we take roughly 2,000 off that. That is a single Maxine. Of course, CM Punk there with a very easy victory. Now this is the match that is a little bit hit and miss, but we do actually beat it. Just about. And then, of course, a universe there. A Ember universe will be so much better than that anyway. And we've done that match without a super move. And they both propped as well, because it's funny. Because why not, eh? Of course, you can get Elizabeth from War the Ropes and the Then Now and Forever event. Also from the quest as well. Stage 68 is now complete. Now, stage 69 is very similar, actually, to what we did before, in terms of our sort of strategy and having a look at it. Of course, we are going to be swapping Punk's equipment up to a speed equipment, and also Elizabeth and Jade's equipment as well, both going to go to speed. Of course, with that speed tag match that we have to deal with. Of course, we do have a Heenan, which is going to be perfectly cool. I'm just going to check the other match as well as a 2.2 mil match. The male speed match will be covered with the support. And then, of course, the female match will also be able to be covered, actually. So we should have to be able to do this without the super move what we currently got. Hoping. Without using Penta, because you will not have Penta. Try Ellen Knight. Of course, the SE Steve will be considerably better in this situation. And yeah, with SE Steve, you should be able to do that without a super move. But since we do not have him pro'd right now, of course, we are not able to do it. So, of course, we are going to be super moving that third match. However, though, this is a very easy 2.1 mil match. Well, just over a 2 mil. Of course, CM Punk now coming in against Lexus King there with a very easy win. And then lastly, of course, with our well, if we did have the special edition Austin, it would be a lot easier. But we do not have him right now, meaning that, of course, that we would super move that. However, though, you can, as long as you clear 2 of the matches, it's perfectly fine anyway. So feel free to boost up in charisma if you want to, because CM Punk is very good in speed for cars. Equally, though, you could just use Punk. Of course, you do have an Ellie Wade Barrett as well that you could use. But that is stage 69. Now, stage 70 is a bit of a tricky one, I would say. Of course, now, when I did this for Penta, I did have to use an alignment. But I'm hoping with what I've got now, I shouldn't need to. Says that, and we'll probably need to. Let me just take equipment off everyone first, so just because it is a mess of equipment, Gibbs and everything. So, stage 70 here with that Miss Elizabeth. Now, Miss Elizabeth will be getting the Hardcore Championship support. And then Jade will be getting Razor's 2 pick. However, though, it's just basically knee pads. Because we are going to be using Larry. And then we basically just need to win one of them male power matches in which we can do the first one. We can do the second one as well. The second one's actually a bit less. So, if you want to super move the first one. However, I wouldn't, just to like really make sure that you can win that match. But yeah, of course, do it with all bits of caution regarding that. Now, this should be a win. May not be, of course. Elizabeth doesn't actually have her variant fully done, so with variant done, she'll definitely be able to do it. If it's not now. Of course, using a table on that male tag match. Of course, getting it to around 950k, 934k. Bonson actually propped as well. That is just over 2.1 mil. And no, we get unlucky. Of course, with Elizabeth variant, though. Oh god, it's used Penta anyway. We do not want to do. Let me just check some variant people. And damn, it's over 100k out. Wait, why? Because of Jade, presumably. Yeah, right. Yeah, Jade. Jade is weak. So yeah, let me do it with Zelina, and then just have the male power match, the female tough power match be super move. So let me just boost up Batista real quick into power with his with equipment. Of course, we do have that alignment as well that we could use, but of course I'm trying to do it without getting an alignment on anyone, or using an alignment on anyone, should I say. Yeah. Just got to check a match real quick, and that. Well, actually saying that, with Batista and Eric, we should be alright. I'll say that. So this is why this match is a bit difficult, because, well, I'll say that, I don't have Wade Barrett. So, Wade Barrett can easily go in with 2 of these people. Quite straightforward. Equally, though, you do get Miss Elizabeth's variant up. I don't think it'll actually be enough anyway. Be 80k, so no, it won't be enough. Either way, of course, you can get second Elizabeth. That'd be great if you could. Equally, though, you could, I guess, try and actually use the support, but it will not be enough because of Jade Cargill being too weak regardless. So, yeah, using Wade Barrett, we'll be able to get this match covered quite straightforwardly, as he is the best in power. Alternatively, though, of course, Steve Austin, SC could help cover a match, should he need to as well. But of course, I can't show them right now because I do not have them. But yeah, imagine Austin's here, and Wade Barrett will be here. Of course, if you can get Wade, which it's just from the Then and Forever event. Or alternatively, getting to Elizabeth's Ivy Nile as well. Actually procs in toughness. So of course, feel free to use them as well. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching this part, and a goodbye.